Welcome back, guys. This is Primus. Today I'm going to be showing you some of my medieval houses on a server that I've been working on. Now, this is a test server for now, but it will become a public server eventually. I will fill you in more on that. Let's just set the time to 1000, 7 o'clock in the morning, so I can show you guys my houses. Now, I've been working primarily with a Nordic style. I've also been doing a little bit of Tudor, but get to that later. So, here in the northern biome, obviously, got lots of snow here, and this is going to be more of a tundra and alpine kind of deal. So we got two buildings here. We got a house, and we actually have a, I would assume like a throne room or a tribal, basically center place, longhouse, if you will. So we got these two Nordic builds, and I think these came out really, really well. I really like the way they're doing. Another thing you may notice is I am in a texture pack. I usually build in default. I actually like building in default more, but the server will be using this texture pack, and so that's basically my reasoning behind this. This is John Smith, I believe Legacy. Is it? Yeah, I believe Legacy. I'll leave a link to it in the description either way. And so yeah, let's just move on here. So first we got the longhouse, essentially. We got lots of little details here along with the windows, trying to merge wood with stone. I've been experimenting with some like two-tier buildings. This is a walkway stretching around it. You can see we got a little walking space here. Not a whole lot, but enough to bulk it up a little bit. Under here we got like the foundation for the building. And then we have this little outskirts here. So we got this little support for the chimney up there. We can see we got lots of cargo and stuff underneath all of this support beams and all that. On this side, I actually live in a right on the mountains here. So here we have wind coming down off the mountains and across the plains. So I imagine that would kind of mimic that here. So if wind's coming down off the plains, snow is going to be swept up against this building. So I tried to add some snow drifts in here, kind of make the building seem like it's part of the elements. It's been here for a while. And one thing I do like about this is I added some details that you wouldn't really be able to get to unless you really knew about it. Like you can't even get in here. That sound is really loud. Okay, but yeah, so little details that people on the server who are playing it, I believe it's going to be a roleplay server, aren't even going to be able to see. But I mean, I think it adds aesthetic detail just to be able to maybe see it from like out here, to be able to see in and see that detail. So what we got here is we got some crates, some storage like that, and we got some grids here. I imagine this kind of like snow fences designed to keep the snow out for the specific reason, and so they can store cargo and stuff under there in the winter. Again, we got more in here. We are on the 1.5.2 version of Minecraft, so I didn't use any clay blocks or hay blocks. I think that would have been cool, but we'll get there eventually with the server. I think it's going to be a really, really great server. Got the log pile out here again, just adding some depth, some supplies to the surroundings. Make it seem like this building is a little bit more dependent on incoming stuff. And so we got this nice window detail here. Again, you saw this in my Nordic house tutorial. Got the upside down stair, cobblestone walls, and then the little outlying foundation here. We got some roof supports here while still leaving these little wood bits visible. I really like that. Got a chimney coming up, a pretty standard roof, except for the fact that this kind of comes out and curves a little bit more. This is to actually a suggestion by someone on the server to try to help make the roof be a little bit smaller, because we were thinking it stuck out a little bit too much. So what I did was I basically slanted the roof back into the building a block and then added this outside. And yeah, so you can see it's relatively symmetrical. But yeah, if we come up this staircase, I think the staircase came out nice. And we come in here. Now, we can see we got lots of rafters in here. Lots of nice little details. My goal was to make little, again, subtle details that people would only notice if they really look for it. Like these little fence posts here. You can't really notice them when you walk in, but I mean, once you do, it's those subtle details I think that really make a difference. So as you can see, we have the throne here for whoever is working on this. Iron bubbles. And then we got the 2 furnaces here. Or not furnaces, fireplaces. And yeah. So my idea is that these will be the primary source of lighting. Now, the reason they aren't lit is because we currently do have fire tick on, and I don't want this to spread. So that's pretty much it for this building. It's pretty simple in concept, but I think once you add all the details, like all these fence and fence gates, it turns out really well, and it gives a really nice overall aesthetic appeal. Now, this house here is my attempt at basically taking this. This was actually originally supposed to be a house. It turned out huge. So my idea was to kind of take this stuff and scale it down into a house that I could build more commonly and maybe have players live in or something like that. Hopefully build up a village. Those should be shut. Now, as you can see, we got the same idea here, the 2-tier concept. Now, this is a little bit shorter. And one thing I like about this is that it's built into the hill. So we could have like a road coming off here, and it just adds a little bit more detail being built into the side. Now, this ice here, I love this ice. It adds a lot of color to the builds. This was actually Iron Bubble's ideas. I'll get to him a little bit more in a later video. But yeah, so we got, this was essentially an idea for making the roof bits here a little bit more interesting on the side. So instead of having it flat, we decided to curve it over. Again, we have this little bit of a detailing work here, some stone coming out to separate it from the building. Same kind of windows. I actually stepped it up, made them too tall, just to kind of fill up that empty space. Here we actually have 2 stories in this building, which is strange because this is the first Nordic house I've actually put 2 stories in. If we come in here, you can see it's actually pretty usable space. This is supposed to be like a stone bed. We got some rafters and stuff. We can come up here. We have some more support beams for the roof. Some storage, again, the cargo. If we come down here, we have this nice creepy basement. It's a really dank area, and it just kind of gives this really dark and enclosed feel. I believe I am on Moody. Yes, always play on Moody. And yeah, I think these cobblestone walls give a lot of detail, a lot of cargo and stuff. So again, just a nice little touch. And yeah, so I think I actually really like this a lot. I think this is kind of a more refined form of my style, and I think it came out really well. Again, we got the key components of that building over there while not going too over the top and kind of scaling it down to a more manageable size. Now, if we go to the to another warp on our test thing, this is actually not built by me. This is really nice as well. This is an attempt at a Tudor house. Now, never done this before. This is actually my first building. And so what I tried to do is make it, I don't know, just kind of give it a shot. What we got here is we got the fence gates kind of supporting the overhanged roof that we are pretty significant on Tudor houses. We got the wool here kind of to show, and I really like the cross beams here. They can double as crates. I've used that, as you can saw before, underneath the houses. In here, nothing too special. Actually, really high ceiling because this recesses into the ground. You can see we got another block of room here. You can come up here, and we got plenty of room for people. So I didn't do the best interior decorating in here. I think it would have been a little bit better if it was more cramped. So it's definitely something to work on. I know a lot of people use stone and cobblestone for the Tudor houses. I wanted to try brick just to kind of bring a little bit more color into it. I think sometimes medieval buildings can get a little too dark and almost depressing. And I mean, that's part of the style, but I don't think it has to be that way. So it started off pretty plain-faced. I went through with some stairs and tried to break it up a little bit. But I mean, I'm not sure there's a whole lot I can do. Yeah, a nice little experiment. I don't think I'm going to be sticking with this too much, though. Got the kind of a sloped roof, but I mean, nothing dramatic. Just a little bit at the end, sticking out a little bit. So yeah, if we go back to This is where all my Nordic builds are. Alright, so warp north. And there we go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give me your feedback. I've gotten a lot of feedback here from these guys. These guys are great, but I can always use more, and you guys are a great supply for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, like what I'm doing here, and we'll see you guys next time.